In the past few weeks, I've been dunking on Hondas, ranking different motorcycles, and even talking about the ZX6 recall. It's branded me as a bit of a hater, so people said, yeah, what are your favorite motorcycles? Talk about what you love. So here are my picks for my favorite bikes from each manufacturer, starting with the most unbiased choice, Yamaha. All right, without a doubt, my favorite bike that Yamaha is making currently is the MT-09 SP. What more can I say about this motorcycle? I'm constantly talking about it, constantly recommending it, and that is for good reason. I had one back in 2024 as a giveaway model. It was a 2023, a third gen. They've moved on to the fourth gen, and every time Yamaha updates this platform, it just gets better. And I still think this is one of the best bang for buck street bikes for those of you that want a lot of heat energy, but don't want to go too crazy and still want to be comfortable. The bike's become a little bit more polished over the years. It's definitely lost that crazy supermoto on coke energy it used to have, but it's still a rowdy and fun ride. In the SP trim, you're getting something with 117 horsepower, 69 foot-pounds of torque, a KYB front fork, and an Öhlins shock out back. You also get a 6-axis IMU, that's the same equipment that's actually found on the R1, Brembo style calipers, and an updated master cylinder as well, with a quick shifter up and down. This motorcycle retails for right around $12,500 MSRP. You can expect to pay about 15 grand out the door for this bike, and I think that's worth every penny. It's a bike that I've gone back to so many times trying to justify a reason for it in my own stable. And I'll tell you this, if I were to have one motorcycle to rule them all for road and track, I may just pick up a Yamaha MT-09 SP. All right, let's talk about Big Red. What's my favorite motorcycle from Honda? Recently ranked them with Logan, and it looked like the Honda Hornet CB750 was the top choice, but that's actually not my favorite Honda. If I had my druthers, my favorite Honda, if you put a gun to my head and I had to choose, is the Grom. Yes, Honda's lovable little mini bike is my favorite Honda. Hey, what can I say? I just find them all a little boring and a little dorky, and to me, the Grom absolutely exudes the best bang for buck fun factor you can have on two wheels. As many of you know, I have a Honda Grom that I've been doing some wheelies with, and I have heard your cries. You ask, where are the wheelie update videos? Well, I will get back to it as soon as I can. Things are pretty crazy over here with the giveaway bikes, but we will be back to it very soon. The Honda Grom features a 124cc single-cylinder motor making 10 horsepower and 8 foot-pounds of torque. The new updated version actually features a 5-speed gearbox, which is up from the 4 speeds it used to have, and you get ABS as an option. Base price for this bike is $3,600, so out the door pretty close to $5 grand. I would not recommend buying a brand new Grom unless you just have $5,000 burning a hole in your pocket. I highly recommend picking up a used Grom like I did for right around $2 grand or something like that. All right, moving on to Suzuki. What's my favorite Suzuki? Is it the Gen 3 Hayabusa? You might be surprised to find that the GSX-8R is my favorite Suzuki being sold at the moment. We had this one as a giveaway bike back last year, and you might say, God, this guy just keeps picking his old giveaway bikes, but I've ridden a lot of different Suzukis, and quite frankly, the new stuff that they're making is the most interesting. Some of the stuff like the Gixxer 600s and 750s and even the 1000s, to be honest, they are so long in the tooth that I don't think they're relevant in the conversation anymore. And honestly, the people who are saying their Gixxer 750 is just as good as the new Panigale V2 or the R9 are huffing industrial grade levels of copium. This motorcycle features a 776cc 270-degree parallel twin motor making 83 horsepower and 58 foot-pounds of torque. It's a really punchy, fun motor, and in the 8R configuration, it has a gentlemanly sport touring quality about it. Now, is it the most exciting ride? No. The MT-09 SP, for example, is way more interesting and fun to ride, but honestly, it's just a really well-executed, complete motorcycle. If you want to do some light touring, ride it in the twisties, cruise to your office, and maybe even hit a track day or two once a year, the GSX-8R is a fantastic choice, and Suzuki does build bulletproof motorcycles that squids cannot kill. You get an inverted Showa fork at the front, a quick shifter up and down, ABS, traction control, and a bunch of different ride modes. It retails for right around $9,669, kind of some weird pricing on Suzuki's part. Expect to pay around $11,000 out the door for this machine. All right, moving on to Kawasaki. If you've been watching the channel for a while, you probably already know what I'm gonna say. The Z H2 is my favorite bike from Big Green. The Z H2 is just awesome. It is a righteous motorcycle. It exudes Turbo Hayabusa energy from the factory. There is no other motorcycle that I've ridden quite like it. And much like the MT-09 SP, every 6 months or so, I kind of start getting this itch and trying to make the case to myself for getting one for my own personal stable. So what are we working with? A 998cc supercharged inline-4 motor producing 197 horsepower and 101 foot-pounds of torque. Now, the crazy part about this bike is that you can put on a full system exhaust, flash it, do a couple of changes to it, and you're producing 240 wheel horsepower all day, every day. It now comes equipped with electronic suspension, all of the IMU safety tech, a quick shifter, cruise control, Brembo calipers, and of course, the righteous whooshing sounds of that supercharger. The craziest part is that this motorcycle's base price is $21,700, which puts it about $9,000 or $10,000 cheaper than a comparable Ducati or BMW with the same kind of performance. The Z H2 really isn't a caliber of its own, and if I were to choose any motorcycle from Kawasaki, it would certainly be that one. All right, moving on to BMW, a brand that I have a bit of a storied history with. I don't gel a lot with their motorcycles, and my choice is, of course, the CE2 scooter. You guys saw me review that bike. I absolutely loved it. It's the coolest BMW on the block. What? What's that? Oh, I'm getting word from our producers. Scooters aren't motorcycles. Sorry. So if I had to pick a motorcycle from BMW, it would of course be the S1000 XR. This was a bike that left a huge impression on me, and if I were to choose any BMW between the 900 categories and the GSs and the entry-level stuff, I really would pick the XR. You get all the superbike performance, it's super comfortable, and honestly, BMW just makes touring motorcycles. That's kind of their thing. I don't really trust them to make super sport machines, and unless they have a certain Turkish superstar at the helm, they don't really win a whole lot either. So what are we working with? A 999cc inline-4 motor producing 170 horsepower, 84 foot-pounds of torque. You got electronic suspension, an optional quick shifter, ride modes, super comfy ergonomics, and toll pass compartment, which of course you're gonna need because you're gonna be going really fast on this motorcycle. Base price is $17,995 for this machine. Absolutely nobody pays for the base price for BMW, so expect to probably spend about $25,000 to $30,000 realistically out the door for this machine. Moving on to Bologna's finest, Ducati. What is my favorite Ducati currently being produced? To be honest, I know I'm gonna sound like a bit of a simp, it was a hard choice between this Panigale V2S and the bike I'm gonna talk about. This is a giveaway bike over on the website, by the way. Join as a member, time is running out to win it. July is the last month we're doing this, and then we're launching the next bike. So if you don't get your entries in now, you're gonna miss out. Don't miss out. But really, my favorite Ducati has to be the Streetfighter V4S. I really don't think there is a better executed naked motorcycle for sale today. I was absolutely blown away by the Streetfighter V4S when I had one in 2022. It is so fast, it is so easy to ride, it is so elegant, it is so beautiful, it is so good on track, and it is so expensive, which is why it is so good. Price for this machine is $29,295, but you get some pretty sweet stuff out of it. An 1103cc V4 making 205 horsepower and 88 foot-pounds of tortellini. Electronic Öhlins, quick shifter up and down, all the safety tech you could ever want, ride modes, and an optional cruise control. That's a new thing Ducati's doing because they fundamentally and philosophically did not believe in cruise control not that long ago. The Streetfighter V4S is a superlative, incredible, beautiful motorcycle. The only thing I don't like about it is the price, and I just can't really bring myself to spend well over $30,000 for a naked bike when the MT-09 SP exists, for example. Okay, moving on to Aprilia. Again, you might think I'm a bit of a simp, but I made a big brain move. I chose my favorite motorcycle. The Tuareg 660 is my favorite bike that Aprilia currently makes. When this bike debuted in 2021, I thought it was a knockout hit. It stayed on my radar for many years, and then the opportunity came up with Aprilia to actually add this motorcycle to my personal stable. So it's been a bike that I've been enjoying for the past year or so. and it's just a really well executed motorcycle. It's got a super punchy, fun 659cc parallel twin, making 80 horsepower and 52 foot-pounds of torque. Of course, it features ride modes, traction control, has cruise control as standard, an optional quick shifter, which is a bit of a miss in my opinion, should come with one from the factory, fully adjustable KYB suspension with plenty of travel, and of course the base price is $12,500, but it's free if you know a guy like me. So what else is there to say about the Tuareg? It's kind of like the Gucci version of a Yamaha Tenere that's a little bit more temperamental. But truth be told, I've had mine for a good 3,200 miles on the clock, having a lot of fun with it, literally zero issues whatsoever so far. If I encounter anything, I of course will tell you guys, but I think the copium that Japanese bike owners are huffing right now is that Italian motorcycles are still crazy, unreliable, and bad. Meanwhile, they're suffering through bottom-end recalls. I don't know, maybe you guys are existing in some fake news parallel universe that I'm not aware of. All right, moving on to orange territory, KTM. Now, there's lots of cool KTMs, and many of them are a lot of fun. They wheelie, they do crazy stunts, and overall, basically everything KTM makes is a dirt bike with a lot of power or not a lot of power. So I chose the RC8C. Yes, this is a bit of a kind of far field, out of left field type of pick, but the RC8C is my favorite KTM. I've ridden Super Dukes, I've ridden 790 Dukes, I've ridden 390 Dukes, I've ridden their dirt bikes. The 8C is something just so special and so cool, and I wish more manufacturers would make stuff like it, and I think it's indicative of the fact of how good this motorcycle is that they sold out of every single one that they made in about 5 minutes. I'm not even kidding. So this motorcycle features an 889cc parallel twin lifted from the Duke 9, making a little bit more horsepower at 135 horsepower and 72 foot-pounds of torque. But get this, it weighs 313 pounds dry. Yeah, that's kind of like extreme race bike figures. Brembo style calipers, fully adjustable WP suspension, extremely raw riding experience. You can literally dial in the offsets and the rake and everything. I mean, it is literally a race bike. You should think of it as nothing else. You can't really plate it for the street. And of course, it is $42,000 if you were able to plunk down the pre-order and get one in for you. All right, the last manufacturer on the list today is probably my top second manufacturer, and we saved the second best for last. It's Triumph, and my favorite motorcycle that they make, they actually discontinued it just last year, if memory serves me correctly, is the Triumph Street Triple 1200RR. This bike really has no equal in my opinion. It features an 1160cc triple, 177 horsepower, and 92 foot-pounds of torque. It is truly a gentleman's superbike. It makes a ton of power, goes like stink, but it's refined, comfortable to ride, and easy enough to hustle on a racetrack. I got the chance to own one of these back in 2022 as a giveaway bike, and I haven't really sampled a new Triumph that I liked any more than that bike. They are just awesome. The only downsides is the dash. It features a similar dash found in other Triumph 1200 models, and I just don't think it's as slick or as fresh as some of the new stuff that Ducati and BMW are doing. Triumph, if you're listening, please update your TFTs and your technology and your software behind them because it is absolutely looking and feeling very, very dated. This motorcycle also came equipped at the time with electronic, semi-active, fully adjustable all-in suspension, Brembo style emblems, ride modes, safety tech, cruise control, and it's just a super well executed street package and the kind of cool half-fared, like really neat looking motorcycle. Price for this is $20,950. So boys, that's gonna wrap up my choice for favorite motorcycles of all the manufacturers today. What do you think? Do you agree with the choices I've made? Would you have picked anything different? If you're going out there and pick Versys 650s or dinky little entry bikes, when you could pick anything from any manufacturer, well, then I have strong words for you. Thanks again for watching today's video. Hit the link below to this one right over here. You can check out this video and continue enjoying and watching yourself some Yami noob. I'll catch you in the next one. See you later. I'm still here. Still here. You gotta click the link. I won't scare you anymore. Maybe I will though. Nope, not doing it.